think it's probably the case that it'll just be us. So I'll go ahead and get us going. Welcome. Today's Thursday, August 25th, and we're going to be discussing section 2 of the 6-part series, specifically today, navigating an ultra course. The overview of learning outcomes is very brief for today. We're going to identify the shift in terms of a course from Blackboard Learn to Blackboard Ultra, internalize the course navigation in its new kind of appearance, and then finally understand the basic functions of the course tools. So what that looks like in terms of the layout of time is an overview of what's new. Then we'll take a brief look at the course navigation and how it appears. We'll move to distinct course tools, and then I'll do a live demonstration within Blackboard Ultra so that you can see it. And then I'll give you some recommended activities and next steps. The changes, like I mentioned on Tuesday, are going to go into effect for the new term. So that's going to be Tuesday, September 6th. For all PT and OT First Professional students. Blackboard is adaptive and intuitive, so we will be basically supporting you all throughout this journey as you shift from Learn to Ultra. So just to kick us off here, I'll give you a brief overview. What's new? So on the new Blackboard Ultra, you'll see that the course appearance looks a little bit different. It's a top navigation across the screen. So once you're inside of a course, you'll see kind of two columns. The left is your course faculty, and then the right will be the course content, which is what's on the bottom here. But then across the top, you'll be able to navigate through the course using these different tools or titles. So you'll notice that some of the course tools have the same name as the tools that we went over on Tuesday about the Ultra-based navigation preview. The reason for that is because a calendar, your grades, your messages, all of those things exist universally, right? So you can look at them from the standpoint of every single course that you have, or once you're in course navigation, accessing those tools is going to mean that you're specifically in the course that you have selected. All right, so I'll let us continue. The course tools overview is right here. This is a snapshot very similar to the one that's in the self-paced course of the different course tools. So you have content, which is one of the top navigation items, and that helps you to navigate into various course tools. You can also return to the course content by clicking content. You also have the calendar. Remember, in this functionality, you're going to be looking at the calendar for just the course, so the dates for assignments or quizzes or even discussions as it relates to the course that you're toggled into. Discussions is the central location for accessing and participating in the discussions located within this course. Each discussion in an area where users discuss a topic or a group of related topics is listed there. And teachers will have the ability to organize those into different folders if need be. The grade book that you see here is also going to be for grades within this actual course. Don't forget that grade information can also be viewed and updated through the Ultra-based navigation within the grades and the activity stream. Finally, the messages. Some faculty members will use this functionality, maybe not all. Some of them will prefer email, so you'll just have to see at the beginning of the term what their preference is. But if there are messages between students or from a faculty member to a student, you'll see them here. Questions so far, or am I good to continue?
You can go ahead and continue.
Okay, perfect. So this is just a brief highlight of what we're going to look at in the live demo in just a moment, the course navigation. So like I mentioned in that little screenshot, it's a top navigation. So all of the items or tools are going to be listed there. The content is easy to follow, and it will be the same for all of your courses. That kind of like landing page for course content looks the same. And then we'll go through a few of the items. So details and actions, the calendar, discussions / messages, and assignments. So I'll show you where all of those things are today, but then we'll kind of drill down into them as we go through the workshop series. USAHS and then institution page?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So what we discussed before was the base navigation. This time we're going to go specifically into courses. So when you click courses, you'll notice that all of the courses are listed here. We briefly discussed it, but all of your courses that you've ever taken will be loaded into Blackboard Ultra. So you'll be able to filter through and select courses I am taking or completed courses. The other way to go ahead and access them is just by favoriting. So you're going to click the star to make sure it's on the top of your page. I'm going to use the example of the self-paced training to show you what it looks like. And we'll use the student view so that it looks just like it would if you were in the actual course. So like I mentioned, that top navigation is right here. The content of the course is essentially all of the things you need to see at a glance. So it's going to start with the Getting Started feature. This is the same for all of them. It'll tell you how to navigate the course. It'll give you the information that you need to know, what computer requirements or tech check you need to go through. It's important to do this at the beginning to make sure you don't have any issues when it's time to take an exam or quiz online. And then you can either select an item and kind of click through to the next subtitle within that section. Or the alternative is obviously to close it out and then go to the next portion of the course, which would be the first unit. But once you have selected a section, you can literally continue to click through using that right arrow. The second thing is the calendar for the course. If we had due dates for the final quiz that was in the self-paced training, you'd see it come up here as long as you select on due dates. You can see your schedule for when your courses meet listed as long as you kind of drag the page down. And then you can also see the full month at a glance. I'm just toggling over on that top navigation, the discussion section.
Also, for any assignments that are due, would it automatically appear on the calendar, or would the professors need to add that so we are able to view that?
So once they assign a due date, it will appear on your calendar. I'm going to actually exit this just to show you. Let's delete this and continue. I'm going to show you a different course so that you can see what it looks like. I created a mock class, and within this mock class, there's a due date here. So let me go to the calendar. Very arbitrary, but I'm going to go back. And if you see, I made a sample assignment, and that due date does appear on the calendar. So as long as the assignment they've given you has a due date, it will be here. Now, of course, the caveat to that is if there's like an ongoing assignment or something that you need to get done but doesn't necessarily have a specific deadline for it, then it won't show up in that same way. Does that make sense?
Yes. Is there on that calendar that you showed us, is that just for the course itself, or is there a calendar where we can view multiple?
Where you can see everything?
Yeah.
Yeah. So so I was within that course when I showed it to you, but if you notice now I'm back on my courses screen. So as long as you can see the base navigation and you click this calendar, you'll be able to see everything at once. So the due dates here would be posted for every course that you have.
Okay.
Yeah. Good question. Thank you. Okie doke. And I'll just show you very briefly because we have other sessions that kind of go into these things, but just so that you can see the discussions, there's an opportunity to kind of explore what it would look like. But the discussion post would be here, and then you'd be able to kind of share those responses, and you'll see if it's graded or not immediately, or if someone has responded to you. And then you can toggle over. So the same is true of the gradebook. Let me start the preview over so you can see. In the gradebook, you will see any assignments that have been given to you, and then whether you've opened it or not, whether you've attempted it will show up here, and then your total points essentially once you've submitted it. If you have feedback from your faculty members, you'll see that posted here once they've provided it for you. Also, another thing is if I were to open and complete these, you'd see the update actively for your current grade. And then finally, messages. Like I said, this is going to be faculty member specific. Some of them may not choose to use it, But if they do, this is where you would access the messages specific to this course. Similarly, just like with the calendar that we looked at, messages exist in the Ultra Base navigation, right? So you could see messages from anybody in that Ultra Base navigation, and it would be for all of the classes that you have. I'm going to exit this preview as well. Then I'm going to go back to the content for just one moment just to show you the other functions that are on the left-hand column. So everything listed in the right is the actual course, from how to navigate through it and then each of the units. I think we've covered all of the course-specific functionalities. So the very last thing that I want to name, just because we're still within the system, is the reminder that the base navigation does include tools to kind of help you out. So when in doubt, obviously you can reach out to ask questions. There will be live office hours for you as well. But these are going to be some of your helpful places to kind of go to. That support, like I said, once those office hours go live for students, it'll be on here and you can just click and ask a question. Or if it's something simple and you want to just go to the video to kind of get that help, you can always go to Student Blackboard Help and it'll pop you into essentially all of the kind of quick how-tos and FAQs within Blackboard. These are inclusive of little 1-minute videos about specific topics. So it's a good place to go when you need a refresher, and that we've covered everything that was included. So just so you know, the course content we've already gone through, but essentially the folders, the learning modules, any links or files would all be listed within it. And last but not least, of course, is the plug for what there is coming forward. So submitting assignments and discussions, we will actually do a brief walkthrough and simulation of what it looks like to actually submit an assignment, to go on a discussion post, see when someone has responded to you. That's going to be on next Tuesday. We'll specifically talk about test taking, how to access Respondus, or even your quizzes within it next week, Thursday. And then we'll go over grades and feedback, and finally Kaltura and Go React as the very last session. So if you want to, I'm sure you already have access to this, but you can take a screenshot of the dates that are forthcoming. And then as a quick reminder, if one of your faculty members is asking you to download the certificate, you would go into the student self-paced training and go to the quiz. Once you've completed it with a passing score, you'll be able to download that certificate. Are there any other questions that are top of mind for you right now about either the Ultra Base navigation from Tuesday or the course navigation from today?
No,